Good morning to everyone. Now that we are already in the fifth day of our Novena Mass of the Feast of Immaculate Conception on this coming December 8 and 9, 2024. Thanks to Bishop Marcelino Antonio Maralit Jr., our presider, being our bishop on this fifth day of the Novena Mass. To his homily yesterday, to the reading and gospel taken in the book of Prophet Isaiah, chapter 11, verses 1 to 10, and to the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verses 21 to 24, of which it is a prophecy. In the first reading about the Messiah, or Jesus Christ, and the fulfillment of the Davidic covenant. If we talk of the Messiah's qualification, will be filled with the Spirit of the Lord and will have wisdom and understanding. He will judge fairly and bring justice to the poor and the needy. Who are those poor? Those who earned with only a minimum wage salary or lower to the minimum wage salary. Those who earned only lower than 18,000 pesos a month compared to daily expenses. Why, even we have the budget because of our income, if ever there is an extra expenses and no other source of income, of course that person will experience of the budget crisis. Why I said this? As far as it is to every families around the world. For it is about the sanctification of marriage and family. In our theme of this year, 2024, Wedding at Cana. Like in the Philippines and other nations. The divided Israel will be reunited as one nation. It means as we depend upon the Spirit of God, He effectively leads us closer to Him and makes our lives more fruitful. Or makes our lives more fruitful. The death of our younger brother Cesar T. Arada after the Typhoon Christine for the sanctification of all families and of all couples, we have to face the reality of what is poorest of the poor and how to love them, especially in our members of the family around the world. It means it depends in our nation's economy and the life standard of living in that particular nation, which is all about the national budget of how the living standard of each Filipinos can provide a life well-being as far as our government is concerned in relations to our local and foreign investors. Based on my experiences, even to do budgeting into my salary and daily expenses, why do people want to loan money? There are certain situations which you might be asked the loan money to friends and family. It is because of financial need. Like of unexpected expenses, emergencies, or cash flow issues can prompt individuals to borrow money. They may genuinely intend to repay, but face unforeseen circumstances that delay repayment. Even to avoid asking to borrow money and try to learn to say no and protect your own finances by upsetting your budget, you may affect your own goals, especially about emergency expenses. So the lesson we have to learn to the death of our younger brother is truly it is God's plan why we have our Lord Jesus' resurrection inside the Holy Eucharist Mass as chosen witness, especially God's plan to all of us and for the nation, as far as our state and church leaders around the world, journeying together on synod to the synod on synodality of how we can help the standard of living of each one in our country and each family about individual earnings of the reasons we need to help our poor brothers and sisters, working of how to provide financial relief during unexpected emergencies. If the salary is lower than the minimum wage, like the medical bills, car repairs, urgent home repairs, and other emergencies. Let us see all of these problems to what Bishop Marcelino Antonio M. Maralit Jr. DD in his homily, how we can see all of this in the eyes of faith and in the eyes of listening in our ear, especially our Gospel of Luke chapter 10 verses 21 to 24, which is about Jesus praising God and celebrating the salvation of believers. Like in our 6 years of our world celebration of our salvation from 2023 to 2028, after the prophecy 2022 in the Philippines, to our highest chosen leader of God, PBBM, which is God's covenant to the world for our state and church leaders, like to what happened in America's elections 2024. Why God bless America of their obedience and faith to God's will, to their chosen highest leader, Donald Trump, and those who are now being Prime Minister and elected President of each nation, which is preferred of God to all men, not the women being his sons. Why today's feast of our Mother Blessed Virgin Mary, to God's daughters, which Mary is model of all women, portrays traits of holiness, piety, and humbleness. Mary has many noble qualities as women, which are very much needed for our women and mothers today. To end this, the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verses 21 to 24, in our fifth day of our Novena Mass, is about why we celebrate for 6 years from 2023 to 2028. Because Jesus celebrates the salvation offered to believers as chosen witness of his resurrection inside the Holy Eucharist Mass, and tells his disciples, now to our bishops and priests, that Satan is already defeated. Jesus blesses the disciples' eyes, especially today of our bishops and priests, to what the homily of our Bishop Maralit Jr., saying that many prophets and kings wanted to see what they see, but did not. It means conveys the idea that knowing God is about having personal relationships with Him rather than just obtaining information about Him. That is why on this coming January 27, 2025, of the Jubilee of Hope by Pope Francis, into my Diamond Jubilee, turning to 60, symbolizes a time of reflection on the resilience and beauty of life, much as a diamond reflects resilience and splendor. It acknowledges the endurance and precious nature of one's life journeying. Again, it acknowledges the endurance and precious nature of one's life journey. In turning to 60 into my Diamond Jubilee birthday on January 27, 2025. That is next year. Amen.